Hello? What? That can't be possible. I'm sure I sent it to you. Let me just check. Just one second. Oh man, what am I gonna do? I don't even know who this guy is. Oh.
Calm down, Peter. You'll be okay. Have you ever heard of 차고 송금 반환 지원 제도?
The Chago what?
Don't worry.
Be happy. Did you send money to the wrong person by mistake?
Don't worry. A talk show for those who have misdirected wire transfers by mistake. Hi, my name is Ha-Sung Lee, a news anchor.
Hello everyone, I'm Peter Bint.
Peter, we are quite close friends, but do you know why we are here?
Yeah, I think so. It's to introduce the KDIC system to help you get money back when you've incorrectly transferred it to someone, especially for foreigners living in Korea, right?
We did a skit earlier to help you understand. Peter, have you had any similar experience?
Yeah, actually recently I was trying to send money for my apartment maintenance fees, but I accidentally sent money to the owner of a bungeoppang store that I had visited. Yeah, I got confused with the list, but luckily that store was nearby, so I went back and asked if they could refund the accidentally wired money. I remember feeling really embarrassed even though it wasn't much. And I assume if it's a large amount of money, especially if you're a foreigner in Korea, that'd be really awkward and really embarrassing.
So did you get the money back?
Yes, luckily, because I bought lots of bungeoppang, they like me as a customer, so they gave me my money
That's
back
why.
really easily. But if they refused, I don't know what I would have done, yeah.
That's right. When money is mistakenly sent to the wrong account, it is called a misdirected wire transfer. If the sender mistakenly sends the money, the KDIC will recover the fund instead. This is the system to support the recovery of misdirected wire transfers. In the past, you'd have to notify your financial institution of the misdirected transfer and then contact the recipient through your financial institution to convince them to send the money back. And if they didn't cooperate, the only way to get some of the money back was through litigation.
Litigation, like a lawsuit, that costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time.
Tell me about it. But now, if it doesn't work out, you can apply to the KDIC for assistance to recover the money, and the corporation will request the recipient to send it back voluntarily.
But even here, what if the recipient persistently refuses to cooperate?
That could happen. If the recipient is persistently uncooperative, the KDIC proceeds with recovery by court order. After deducting the cost, the balance is returned to the sender. The Korea Deposit Insurance Corporation introduced the policy because the number of misdirected wire transfers has increased because more and more people prefer online transactions such as through the internet and mobile banking. Peter, let me give you a quiz.
Okay.
Can you guess how many people have signed up for this service in 2023?
I've got no idea, but let's say 2023, because 2023, okay? Is that right?
In 1 year was a whopping 13,442.
Wow, that's a massive number, way more than 2,000.
And I think this is a system that only exists in Korea.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's the first place in the world this system has been introduced.
Exactly. What about the UK?
As far as I know, in the UK, you can contact the sender's bank and they can try to get the money back from the recipient, but I don't think I've ever seen a public organisation actively help like this. You accidentally send money to the wrong account and the organisation, the public organisation, helps you find it. What an advanced financial system Korea has.
That's right. So it is the first trial in the world.
Wow.
And in fact, the percentage of foreigners using the service is increasing every year. So we invited a special guest here today who has an experience using the service. Welcome! Welcome! Woo. Could you briefly introduce yourself?
My name's Robert Jones. I'm from the United States. I'm currently living in Daejeon, and I use the system to support the recovery of misdirected wire transfers this last summer.
What do you do in Daejeon?
I teach students at a university.
You're a teacher, so what do you teach at the university?
I teach English, English conversation, business English, several subjects, yes.
I see.
But how did you feel when you sent money to an incorrect account? I mean, how did your family react?
Well, I was very surprised and embarrassed by it, very frustrated. My family wasn't very happy either, obviously. It was just something I've never done before, and it was just very uncomfortable all around.
Sure, I can imagine. So I'm curious about the situation in detail. Can you explain a little more about it?
Yeah, I was going to pay my monthly rent to my apartment owner, and there was an account that I'd used earlier, and it was the same bank, and I just made a careless mistake and on my mobile app, and just sent it to the wrong name. It was a similar name in Hangul. My Korean is not perfect, so I just got rushed, and it was a bad mistake.
You used a mobile app.
Yes.
So that's the story I was acting out earlier, I see. Well, Robert, did you try contacting your bank?
At first, they told me to contact the other bank because it was a different bank, not the one that I usually use. And then I did that, and that process took a few days. And then they told me they would contact the other individual, and that really didn't go anywhere.
Then what did you do after that?
Well, my wife, luckily, she was able to look up the information about the KDIC. That was kind of our last resort, seems like. So then I wanted to try to get the money back through that channel.
So did you go to KDIC office?
Yes, I visited there in Seoul, and I live in Daejeon, but that's not too difficult of a trip with the good transportation here. So
to get your money back.
Yeah, to try. Yeah, they did most of the work, but yeah, I gave them the information, and they were able to help me. And there's a long wait, kind of. They said it usually takes maybe 40 days, which that's worth it if it can be done. So yeah, I waited it out, and thankfully, it was resolved.
Wow, your wife is a very wise person.
Indeed, yes. Yes, she is.
So did you get the full amount of money back?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Amazing.
It was. Very pleased with the result.
And from what I heard, the letter informing of the mistaken transfer was not delivered to the recipient. So the KDIC representative tried to contact the recipient many times. And finally, the full amount of the misdirected money was returned.
Oh, nice. Okay, so a happy ending, Robert.
Yes, finally it was, indeed.
All right, I'm curious, Haesung, how do I apply for support recovering misdirected wire transfer?
You can apply in person or through the website. There are two ways to apply. If you go to the KDIC office, there is a consultation center on the first floor. If you go there, you can get a more detailed information. And second, you can visit the KDIC website.
Robert, thank you so much for talking with us today. Have you got any advice for anyone watching right now?
Especially for the foreigners who are watching right now. If you're in a difficult situation because you mistakenly sent money like I did, don't worry. Contact the Korea Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Thank you for sharing your story. It will be very helpful to foreigners living in Korea.
Well, thank you. I certainly hope it is.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Robert. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
But Haesung, can everyone and anyone get such good support?
There are several conditions. Only mistaken transfers within 1 year are eligible. You have to go through a pre-return process with your financial institution first. Also, the sending and receiving accounts must be opened in Korea.
Does this mean that even if the account is an overseas one, it can be redeemed if it's issued by a Korean branch?
Exactly. You can apply online by logging in with your joint certificate. However, if you're a foreigner, you need to bring your alien registration card or Korean driver's license to apply offline. However, if the recipient account is a criminally used account, such as for fraud, voice phishing, or a legally restricted account, it will not be eligible for support. It is a good idea to check not only banks, but also our favorite banking services such as Kakao Pay or Toss.
So we have to be careful and cautious about that.
The best thing is to avoid making mistakes when sending money. So what are the top 3 things to check when sending money?
Okay, they are account number, depositor's name, and amount.
Exactly. Before you make the deposit, make sure you check the depositor's name and the amount with the account you entered. That's the most important thing. Another thing is to organize your frequently used account list. Many cases of erroneous transfers result from accidentally selecting the wrong account in the list, so you should go through it frequently to remove the account numbers that you don't use and keep only the accounts that you do use frequently. To reduce errors, it's a good idea to avoid sending money late at night when you are tired or sleepy or under the influence of alcohol.
That's a good idea. Don't get confused between the 0 and the 8. They're quite close together and look a bit similar. And when we're talking about this service, I realize that while it's important not to make mistakes in the first place, it's also important to have help from the recipient of the money.
Without the recipient's cooperation, it would definitely be a challenge. If a financial institution or the KDIC contacts you, being cooperative is important. Please remember, there is a system to support the recovery of misdirected wire transfer by KDIC. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye!